Greetings and welcome to the Hell City Builder of the Dead, a new upcoming challenging city builder where you process souls coming from disasters to produce resources, survive events and attacks, to ultimately satisfy the heavens and even titans. The game is really complex already and has a public prologue that you can try out yourself for free. This is a sponsored video by Metropolis and I'd like to show you hands-on gameplay. Don't forget to check out the link in the video description for the Steam page, but also check out the Kickstarter campaign to support the developers.
(1923) Great Kanto Earthquake. The powerful earthquake and subsequent tsunami that struck Tokyo and Yokohama caused widespread devastation and had far-reaching consequences for Japan. At 11:55 a.m., the vessel experienced pronounced trembling and vigorous vibrations. Upon observing the shoreline, it became apparent that a significant earthquake was underway. Subsequently, structures collapsed in multiple directions, enveloped by billowing clouds of dust that obstructed visibility. As the dust settled, fires emerged in various locations, ultimately leading to the complete engulfment of the city in flames within a mere 30-minute time span. The earthquake was so powerful that it shifted the great Buddha statue in Kamakura, which weighed about 110 tons and was almost 60 centimeters tall, even though it was almost 60 kilometers from the epicenter. The estimated casualties totaled about 142,800 deaths. Just as it is above, so it is below. We are ready to welcome the arrival of souls coming soon.
Alright, this is it. Here we are now in the game itself, the Hell. Welcome to Hell, I should say. And yeah, there was a big catastrophe up there and on Earth, and in this case here, we will have to take care of all the dead people coming into our town, and we're getting introduced here by a smaller tutorial real quick.
Lost. This is how they arrive, and yet the descent has only just begun. All must pass through the wait. In the wait, all souls are suspended between what was and what will never be again. Beyond the wait stands Purgatoria, a towering monolith of evil where all souls must go. There they are stripped of what they were and turned into sinners. Once they emerge as sinners, they will be your hands, your foundation, your workforce. And you will shape their fate as Hell Governor. Do not let the flow stop. Keep them moving. Keep them suffering.
Alright, so we have to take care of all the souls coming in now. And we're starting this by building the first homes, the first tombs where my sorry souls can then live. And we're starting with building around 5 of them right here, just along this road that we are also going to build. Let's just wait for this to finish, and as we can see, there's also resources on the map, like a waste pile over here that we can use then. We got a forest over there, and as you also can see, yeah, that's not just some empty animations, these are the souls coming in right now from the catastrophe. I think this is a really cool concept, and they're now moving over here to the Wait, my unique building that converts them then into my workforce, into sinners. So these souls, as we can see, the sinners are coming out and they will then work for us. Now they have a body to work with. As the tombs are being finished, we can also watch them. These are the first tiers, the first tombs that we have now. And now we can also start constructing a path. So this game really guides you through the mechanics if you're new to a game like this. It is pretty complex, as we can see. There are a lot of resources that we'll have to manage during the course of this game. Let's just get the road going here. And then we'll need to wait a bit. Next, we have to focus on the first 4 primary resources, that is blood, waste, fear, and cries. All of them are being produced by consuming sinners in a specific building. So let's have our our buildings for that a bit further up here. So I'm gonna continue building me a smaller path up here, right, where we can then have these buildings. So let's just go ahead, and also there's my processor. And then we can build them the sulking refinery, for example, that is producing, I think it was waste, yep. So let's just go ahead and build me 2 of them right away over here. Then we have a needle cage. This one here produces cries, or that's tears, I think. And let's just go ahead and have them, I think, over here. Number 1. And then we also need to get a dead hope going, and this one produces fear. And there they are, my sinners, onwards to producing them and then also getting consumed in the process. And once they have been finished, you're getting quite a stream of sinners here. There's hundreds of them, and once that's been finished, they're working on it now. Producing me some primary resources here. What is going on?
Existence is measured not in moments, but in the flow of souls. Watch the indicator for signals of different events. Some will hinder your production, while others will unleash a torrent of souls upon your domain. Follow days.
Alright, so there's
years.
random
The
events.
Hell calendar tracks the flow of souls, decrease, stage events, progression, and Titan battle events. Not all that dwells in hell is bound to your will. The Titan looms silent for now, but it will not sleep forever. As Hell Governor, you must watch the Hell calendar closely. It reveals what is to come, so you can act before it is too late.
So that's our
It is
Titan here,
the only
Namazu.
measure of change in this realm, a tool not of mercy, but of inevitability.
Alright, and up here we have then our calendar, where we can see upcoming events. And the first event is already our decree that we have to choose, and they're gonna affect then the upcoming game. And you bear the solemn responsibility of processing the souls emerging from the Kanto earthquake. These souls will gather in the wait, awaiting their transformation into sinners within the towering monolith of purgatory at the heart of your dominion. Your task hinges on maintaining sufficient tomb space for these wandering souls. Remember, building more tombs will require substantial primary resources. Choose wisely with your first decree, for many souls depend on your judgment. Alright, so that option is rather interesting. We can either go with more primary resource production, but tombs house 40% less, or tombs house 100% more, but each cycle produces 50% less primary resources. But since there's a lot of sinners coming in, we should have a lot of primary resource production. So I think I could go with this one here. The 50% less resource production sounds like a lot, but since we house way more people, we should make up for it. Now we have to work on the secondary resources that we have over here. That's something like bones, crystals, embers, mercury, rust, and hemoglobin. And in this case here, we need our first processing industry that is producing that, and that's the cauldron. And this one already consumes then also ember and sinners upon construction. And then we're about to finish the cauldron. A mighty building it is in comparison to the ones that we've had so far. And this one is now consuming blood in order to produce something for us. And we can then also decide what it should produce. And since we need ember quite a lot for construction, I'm gonna go ahead and have this one as my first one. So we're now consuming waste to produce ember. Since we have a building that consumes blood now, right? This is really interesting. We need to now constantly also consume then sinners to produce blood. So there's always some sinners going into my blood pumps here and getting consumed by it. And which in return requires us to have more sinners again, so more souls are being processed than up here. And so the cycle repeats. Finally, we can also start upgrading our tombs, which will lead to more space. And also the blood pump to produce more blood that we need. Each one of them also costs me once again embers and rust that we need to process. There we have the upgraded version. A bit taller than before. Let's continue with the brewery. And there it is being finished, and we need the brewery for goo, because without goo my sinners will die rather quickly, and with goo they actually don't die so quickly. So let's go ahead and start the production of goo right over here. This consumes cries and waste to produce it, and it once again also will need 50 sinners, and also they will die in the process of making this building or making this product. It's a really cool building, by the way. I don't know what that is. It looks a bit disgusting, honestly. Just lovely, those buildings, really, and their details.
Weight of growing demands. Lucifer's gaze sharpens. Resources must flow faster, deeper, and darker. To fuel this unholy engine, you must reinforce the backbone of your domain. Strengthen your production lines and fortify your reserves.
Sinners will generally expire naturally over time. They will mostly be subjected to the hardship of labor to maintain the productivity of your domain. This will lead to a gradual decrease in the population of this group. The issue becomes particularly evident when there is not enough goo produced. However, there are times when Hell Governor must make decisive actions and sacrifice to achieve their objectives during critical moments. It may be necessary to produce a more varied range of resources to fulfill tributes or to preserve your labor for sustainability. Alright, so what should we do here? Each cycle produces 10% more secondary resources, but sinners will consume more goo, or sinners consume less goo, but sinners will die 15% faster if there's not enough goo in stock. Let's go ahead with this one. Alright, it's time now to produce or to build support structures for my industry. So that is something like a waste mine that pushes my waste production. And since we're really low on waste, we do need it after all for my goo and for my ember production. I'm starting with focusing on my waste industry. And for the waste mine, we do have those waste piles on the map that I can then place it down. And then we basically push now our waste production with that. We do have an abyss base over here. And another waste pile over there. Very nice. There's actually two more. And there it is, the waste mine. This is now increasing the refiner's productivity speed by 25%. So that's my waste production over here, right? And we have the plus 18 plus the 25 now. That is the boosted one. Another building is the Infernal Abyss. This one here is just like the waste mine, so we can push our waste production with that. And over here we have then one of these resource deposits that we can use for that. I don't think it needs a road connection, so I'm not gonna build a road there. Next, we build some storage buildings to store more resources. One of them is the warehouse that I would like to have here right away. Another one is the granary and then also the keep. Each one of them produces or stores one tier of my resources, right? The warehouse is the tier 1, the primary ones. The granary has the goo, the acid, liquor, so what we need for our sinners. And then the keep is having all the processed ones. All right. We got another event, and that is now Excessive Bliss. We need to pay tribute, mercury, liquor, and acid. So the heavens will demand the payment from hell. And we do need to build a tribute hall for that. This one.
As the governor, your priority is to take care of your own domain. You must manage its requirements.
So let's go ahead and build this one over here. And then we have the demands. This one is the heavens demand. Now, mercury is something that we can actually produce quickly because we have a lot of fear stored. The primary resource that we're making in the Dead Hope over here by consuming sinners. And in this case, let's try and offer this one. There's the mercury. I think we need to pay the tribute now. Yeah, there it is. So we paid now 56 mercury. So it's being delivered over here by my sinners. Alright, back to our main building now. We can upgrade it, and that's the purgatory here. And this is my massive soaring tower that transforms the souls into sinners. And we have here the conversion right now based on the tombs that I have and the total souls that I have. So we can upgrade this one with a bunch of bones to the next level to increase that transformation here, the conversion rate. The cost of greatness, another event. Heaven requires tributes. The primary purpose of hell was always to serve the whims of God and provide the necessary resources to maintain of heaven, human and hell's existence. To be fair, God did grant Lord Lucifer 7 unique structures to ensure harmony within hell. What would be your priority? The tribute hole fills up 25% faster, but unique buildings cost 50% more. Or it's the other way around, unique buildings are cheaper, but the tribute hole fills 50% slower. I don't like this so much, because tribute actually has a time limit on it. So I'm gonna go ahead and make tribute holes fill up 25% faster. Okay, the tribute ends now, and we were not even able to fill in half of it. What happens? How angry is our Titan with us? Alright, Earthquake. Namazu stirs, its hunger awakens. Earthquakes will now occur over time, damaging your domain. Blood paths are destroyed first in the process. Also, souls are processed into sinners. Yeah, we know this already. We got then the soldiers, friendly units who protect, and sadists, hostile units that consume resources. So we got the sadists now appearing, and the sneaky thieves who are always hungry and they will steal things from us. So we don't need to have now sentries that guard and protect my structures. And another event by the Titan. Definitely not a safe place. Hell, that is. As the platform is now shrinking. Next we need to get some order done, and that is with the House of Babel, or Babel of Lies as it's called. And this one here is basically restoring order then to the area. And let's just see, we need some more sinners before we can actually build it. We don't have that many sinners available. Now we can actually build it, there you go. And I would also like to go for some more housing, because I think at this point we really do need it. And for that I need to also produce more rust. Okay, so that's over here then. By the way, we were just able to, yeah, get the next tribute going, so this was successful. I wonder what happens then. Nothing happens actually if you get the tribute done, I think. He's just happy with it, but he's not giving me any reward. Got lots of goo going. We could work on some asset. Get the next tributes rolling, you know, just have enough resources for the next tribute then ready. Because here we have the order parameter now coming in, and as we can see, we now have 100% order that is submissive, and that's the Babel of Lies here that's producing this. However, it consumes now 1 blood per second there again as well. Oh, tonic it is actually, so I need to start producing some tonic. I already have a second cauldron now, because we need to have 2 resources being produced all the time, but I think we're also gonna need a second brewery now soon. Oh god, another event, I'm scared. Alright, a huge amount of tribute now. Mercury, Rust, Embers, Tonic. And he has awoken. Activate the Titan Choker. Choke 200 souls with the Titan. What?
Subdue the catfish. Choke Namazo by constructing the Titan Choker. When the
Alright,
Titan Choker is
and
active,
release the Titan
gates
Choker
hell
on
shut.
Namazu.
No souls will fall into your domain. But once it is deactivated, the gates will reopen, and all the souls that have been waiting will flood into your domain at once.
Now that you can joke the Titan to plan how many souls you want to accommodate in your domain, controlling the growth of the shallow population is indirectly possible by cutting the very thing needed to turn into one in the first place. When you hold too tightly, the flow stops and pressure builds. You can delay the rush, but you can't stop it indefinitely. When the hold breaks, will you be ready for what's to come? The Titan Joker can hold 25% more souls, but has 50% longer cooldown. I think I'm gonna go ahead with this. Alright, so the Titan Trigger restrains the Titan, preventing it from releasing souls. While active, the souls build up within the Titan, and once the pressure reaches its limits, the restraint snaps, causing a violent surge of souls to erupt all at once. We can also choke the Titan now with the bones that we have. Okay, now I think the pressure builds up. Yep, there you go. And we can then also unchoke it whenever we reach, I think, the full amount of 500 souls. We should not forget to pay tribute, of course. There we have it, right? So we can now pay all of that. And yeah, we need to produce more ember. We need to produce more mercury. All of that, basically. At least we have 2 cauldrons now. Also some tonic. We already have the acid. Yeah, I really need to wait though for the pressure to build up, and I'm gonna unchoke it just before the pressure bursts, right? And I think that would be about now, before he explodes. There you go. Alright, the earthquakes continue. We can also choke him again.
The Titan stirs, and the ground trembles beneath her hunger. Cast sinners into her maw before the next quake unleashes the flood.
Okay, for feeding him, we need to build the catapults. Holy cow, they require a lot of space. Okay, but they have a destined location where I need to place them. And then we have the very first one, the first catapult, and we can now launch sinners into Namasu to feed its endless hunger. There they are, and let's launch them. Alright, that was the first batch. Now we consume more sinners then again, and we need to actually, I mean, look at that. We need to send 2,700 sinners in, right? So that's just a crazy amount. We can also build a ballista now. Launches also more sinners in. I don't know if it stacks. It costs me more though, so perhaps, yeah, it can go with 140, I think, then, sinners, right, that we can have. Alright, but that's so many sinners, I don't know if we can actually get that ratio going. We are also constantly losing buildings here to the earthquakes. That's also something, a bit of a strange thing, honestly. We get a lot of these destroyed now. Like every single earthquake destroys my tombs. I cannot rebuild them, so I need to just place new ones. The problem though is that, of course, with every tomb we lose sinners, right? We lose the sinner ratio that we have. So yeah, a bit of a downward spiral that we have. Also lost the cauldron there. And look at that, the earthquake destroyed my catapult right away. So I'm unable now to feed the fish. Like, we built it, and we had an immediate earthquake, and it destroyed it again. Some kind of statement from the fish, I guess. Okay, let's get the ballista going. We should have the sinners any moment now. There they are. And let's build the ballista. And hope that this one is a bit more durable. Perhaps that's the idea of the ballista, to withstand the earthquakes. I hope so. I love how the screen gets more shaken up and disrupted. I'm gonna build me also more shelters here, because we need the sinners. And with my remaining cauldron, we're producing some rust right now. I think amber we should also produce. Let's go ahead. And perhaps I'm gonna build me another cauldron. There's the ballista. Let's launch 140 sinners into the fish. There you go. Alright, next earthquake actually destroyed the ballista. So this one can get destroyed after all. There is no more slots available now, I think, for one more. It also destroyed my last cauldron, so I have no cauldrons anymore. I cannot get the materials back, I think. I can salvage buildings to get me some ember going again. So once they have been salvaged, there you go. Get the ember, and that should be enough ember for producing or getting me my cauldron going again. There you go. We can build one, and I'm gonna build me one more here again. At least my second catapult is under construction now, but it will not be enough. So these are the last moments. We're not able to finish it. I'm building a second ballista there right now to get more sinners over, but since the cooldown is actually pretty high, even though I have the sinners, I cannot launch it so quickly. So with that, the time runs out, and we'll just see what happens. Okay, so that's a bit tragic. The dead die again. And yeah, that's the mission basically. I love that there is actually a huge cutscene just for defeat. I hope you enjoyed this one. This game is brutally hard, I have to say this, but it is also very fun with a lot of tight mechanics coming to it. So I hope you enjoyed this one. Don't forget to leave a like behind. Don't forget to check out the link in the video description. Also to support them on the Kickstarter. And yeah, if you like this enough, we might do another run on this one here. So far so good. Hell, Citybuilder of the Dead. Stay tuned.